considering what happened at our first event, we should not have continued. I decided to put our first event in the British Virgin Islands. And it was 350 miles long. It included biking, hiking, coastaleering, swimming, kayaking, sailing. It was the first of its kind. There were about 100 participants. Unbeknownst to me, we lost somebody. I found out after the event that somebody actually vanished and hadn't been seen for 8 days. And I was like, how the fuck could that happen? Like, what do you mean you haven't seen him? And they said, look, we were setting the ropes a few days before the race. We were hanging him from the rocks into the water for one of the sections of the race, and he cut his leg. And so we told him, take one of the dinghies back to the main island and go see a doctor and get stitches. And then we were busy setting up the race, and we just assumed he was back at the room at the main island, and we just hadn't checked on him for 8 days. But nobody's seen him. So I was like, fuck. So my mind is racing. I talked to my dad. My dad says, listen, negligence could be criminal down here. We got to be really careful how we handle this. Obviously, we got to look for the guy, but choose your words wisely, right? And so I call in the Coast Guard. I call my father-in-law. My father-in-law happens to be an ex-Navy pilot, fixed wing and rotary, right? We rent Richard Branson's helicopter because he lives down there. We grab his helicopter. We get the Coast Guard. Coast Guard lay out their maps. Worst storms they had seen in the British Virgin Islands in 10 years. Worst storms, right? So there's no way this guy's alive. And they say, look, we're basically gonna fly to Little Tobago. It's 150 miles away. If he's alive, he's on this deserted island because that's the way the trade winds are going. That's the way the current is rolling. We found him on Little Tobago. He had drifted to Little Tobago in this dinghy, survived on crabs and water bottles that had also drifted from the race to Little Tobago. And he lands, and I figured for sure he's gonna sue me. He says, hey man, I'm starving. You mind if we go grab dinner? This was the original survivor. Sports Illustrated ended up doing a story about it. And it just goes to show you, like, we complain in our lives about shit, like, oh my God, I'm trapped in my house, Wi-Fi doesn't work, car didn't start, my husband's fighting with me. Many of us have never even missed a meal, let alone drifted for 8 days and had to live off crabs and drifting bottled water on a deserted island. So, awesome story. I don't know what got me to continue putting on races after that, because it was definitely a close call for me and my family, but things always work out. Somehow it worked out.